Back in elementary and middle school, I remember my mom telling me over and over again, take a shower and wash your hair every night. I'm sure this was a familiar scenario in most American homes, as advertising sold people on the idea that daily washing was healthy. As I got older and became more responsible for my own hygiene, I began researching articles and watching videos about the habit of everyday washing, discovering that 40% of American women report shampooing their hair daily. Believe it or not, in the early 1900s, once-a-month hair washing was the normal routine. Because frequent shampooing is not medically indicated and can damage your hair and stimulate more oil production, it seemed reasonable to break the daily washing habits and initiate creative alternatives to maintaining a healthy head of hair. It is important to recognize that glands in our scalps produce and secrete a natural necessary oil called sebum. Sebum moisturizes the scalp and hair and balances the pH. When there's too much sebum production, your hair starts to feel greasy and dirty, which tends to make people feel uncomfortable about their appearance. Oddly enough, though, frequent washing can be a cause of excess sebum production because the glands of the scalp are stimulated by our fingers as we wash. Michelle Hanjani, a dermatologist at Columbia University, explains, if you wash your hair every day, you're removing the sebum and then the oil glands compensate by producing even more oil. So it makes sense that with less washing, there is less sebum production and less greasy hair. With a little patience, less frequent shampooing, or alternatives to shampoo can produce surprisingly beneficial results. Another benefit of less frequent shampooing is limiting the physical damages of shampoos. According to Angela Lamb, assistant professor of dermatology at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai in New York City, shampoo traps oil, so if you shampoo too often, you may dry out your hair, which would leave it unhealthy and prone to breakage. Shampoos contain chemicals called surfactants. The ingredient you can hardly pronounce when reading the bottle is like sodium lauryl sulfate. Surfactants act as a detergent to remove surface dirt from our scalps and hair, and they are harsh. Imagine that you're washing your hair with the same stuff you're washing dishes with. Shampoos also contain sulfates, which are what help produce the lather that removes oils from the hair. Another hard to pronounce ingredient, cocamidopropentane. While these help your hair look cleaner, they damage it by stripping off all the healthy oils your body naturally produces to protect it. I've accepted the fact that some dirt is okay and natural, and it is good for some oils to remain in my hair. Carolyn Goh, MD, a clinical professor of medicine at David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA, emphasizes that oils provide moisturizing and a protection barrier for the skin and hair. If I cannot pronounce an ingredient, do I want these chemicals being absorbed into my bloodstream through my pores? Most shampoos contain about 80% of water, so why not just rinse your hair daily to get rid of surface oils and debris? Hair care is a highly personal choice, but it's important to know that for most people, there is rarely a medical reason to wash your hair with shampoo at all, and frequent washing is not necessary for good health. As previously mentioned, water alone can easily remove most dirt and debris from your hair. Washing your hair less often can help your scalp stay healthy by preventing irritations like itching and flaking. Dr. Shilip Kapal, a dermatologist at the Cleveland Clinic, said that a dry scalp can lead to increased hair loss and recognized the fact that ethnicity determines your hair washing schedule. This reiterates the fact that there is no medically indicated washing schedule, as she advertised her patients according to their hair types, 3 times per week, weekly, monthly, or even 2 months. Now that some of you may argue that shampooing is simply poor hygiene and you need to shampoo to kill germs like bacteria and viruses that might be in your hair or your scalp, first, hair is not an ideal place for viruses and bacteria to live and thrive. In fact, hair's natural oils can act as a barrier to ward these off. More importantly, shampooing is not the only way to clean your scalp and hair. Alternatives like dry shampoos, natural cleaners, and even co-washing are great options if you want to consider going shampoo-free. Dry shampoos are powdery sprays that help absorb oil. If you're self-conscious of oily, greasy looking hair, this helps extend the time between shampoos. Baking soda is a natural cleanser, and just a tablespoon of it mixed with water can be massaged into your scalp. You don't even have to bother with the rest of your hair, since oils originate from the scalp, and once it is clean, the rest of your hair will be clean too. The mixture is simply washed out, and an apple cider vinegar rinse can follow as a conditioner. It helps to tangle your hair and seals your hair cuticles to balance the pH. A final alternative to shampooing is co-washing, which is short for conditioner washing. In this method, you use conditioner instead of shampoo, which allows you to clean your hair without removing the moisture. Co-washing moisturizes, helps your scalp feel more hydrated, and helps reduce hair breakage. Even if you are satisfied with your hair's health and appearance and see no need to stop using shampoos, consider the ideal from an economic and environmental point of view. According to Statista's report on fast-moving consumer goods in the U.S., the average consumer spends about $78.70 on hair care products in 2019. Why not spend that on more important items? From an environmental aspect, 550 million shampoo bottles end up in landfills each year in the US alone. These plastics can take up to 1,000 years to break down, and as they do break down, the smaller microplastics can end up in our streams, rivers, and oceans. Do you think it's important to consider our planet and its future? All in all, everyone seems to have a different tolerance for how oily or greasy their hair appears. However, being assured that daily shampooing is not medically necessary for most people and being aware of the damage that frequent shampooing can cause, it seemed reasonable for me to break the cycle. I began slowly by altering my hair washing routine to every 3 days, and I extended that to 5. I occasionally switched from commercial shampoo to baking soda, and I have also tried co-washing. Consider the benefits of this simple change to your hair, your wallet, and our environment, and then give it a try.